All right, good evening and welcome to the Temecula Community Services Commission regular meeting of June 14th, 2021. I'm Eric Levine, Chair of the Commission. And we'll start off as usual with our flag salute. Tonight, Commissioner Kristevsky will lead us. Please put your phones on mute or your computers on mute and we'll get started. Go ahead, Chris.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. I don't know what it is about a flag salute that always gets my heart swelled with pride, right? And so timely, you know, on the heels of Memorial Day and in anticipation of the 4th of July. All right, Tracy, I think we can start with our roll call.
Okay, good evening. Let's begin with the roll call. Commissioner Kristevsky.
Here.
Commissioner Adi.
Here.
Commissioner Sizemore.
Here.
And Chairperson Levine.
I am here.
Okay, so we have 4 commissioners present with Vice Chair Ruiz on an excused absence.
Very good, thank you. And do we have any public comments this evening?
No, we have no requests to speak tonight.
Very well, we will dispense with the reading of those rules. As a point of order this evening, Commissioner Adi has informed me that he will have to leave early, and in an abundance of caution that we can be on time this evening and accurate, I wanted to make sure that we could move the consent calendar item up. So if that's okay with everyone. So we'll go a little bit out of order. All right, so on the consent calendar item, all matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and all will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless members of the Community Services Commission request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. We have one item on the consent calendar, that's to approve the action minutes of May 10th, 2021. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Commissioner Sizemore and I'll say a second from Commissioner Kristevsky. It was kind of close there. So I will take a roll call vote. Commissioner Kristevsky.
Aye.
Commissioner Adi.
Aye.
Commissioner Sizemore.
Aye.
Chairperson Levine.
Aye.
Perfect. So the motion is approved. We have 4 ayes and 1 absent.
Great. Thank you for that. And let's see, I suppose we can roll into division reports. So tonight we'll be joined by Lacey Sisler and Willa Augustine, and we'll start with Lacey. Go ahead, Lacey.
So sorry about that. My computer was being slow to respond. Okay, let's get started. In aquatics, May was water safety month, and the team celebrated all month long. Pre-summer staff training has begun. All aquatic staff will participate in more than 40 hours of training prior to the first day of summer season. Public swim began June 10th. The splash pad transitioned to summer hours on June 8th, and swim lessons started today. May attendance included more than 2,400 participants. Slide. In contract classes, the printed activities guide is back. The summer fall guide has been mailed out to residents and registration is now open online. Staff has planned an exciting variety of classes and programming for the upcoming season. May 2021 classes had 411 participants. Slide. At the Community Recreation Center, staff has prepared a variety of fun-filled recreation activities that should keep Temecula summer day campers happy and busy all summer long. The summer day camp is sold out and there's a wait list for each session and age group. Slide. The teen zone reopened Monday, May 10th with all necessary modifications for health and safety, and average attendance has been about 4 visitors daily. Slide. The teen zone has also continued to offer virtual activities for those not ready for in-person activities, including a monthly theme box, a virtual theme box meetup, and Tasty Tuesdays, which offers teens free cooking lessons. The monthly theme box is completely sold out and 67 teens participated in Tasty Tuesdays. Slide. In homeless outreach, SWAG started working with 6 new clients, exited 3 clients from the street, and connected 1 client to treatment. Year to date, 23 clients have exited street level homelessness. 2 existing encampments were removed and 7 new encampments were identified, and the cleanup process has commenced. Staff is working with community service providers to plan an in-reach day at the Help Center on Tuesday, June 29th. Slide. In inclusive and senior services, High Hope, SKIP, and other programs are still being offered virtually. The Youth Advisory Council year came to a close in May and held an outdoor completion ceremony. We would like to give a big thank you to Ready Commissioners Ivy Harris, Eric Faulkner, and Vice Chair Imelda Huerta, and the family of Commission Chair Tiffany Baker for making the completion ceremony extra special. Slide. So programs and events included senior meals for curbside pickup, serving about 110 seniors every Friday, and over 51,000 meals to seniors in need during this whole entire pandemic. MSPSC Community Garden distributes harvest to seniors during the curbside senior meal program, and the Friend Project at Friendship Park, where volunteers assisted with painting tile pieces and an interactive wall mural on volunteer days. Slide. The Mary Phillips Senior Center hosted a mobile vaccine clinic for ages 12 and up. 662 Pfizer vaccines were provided to community residents. The AARP tax aid program began on March 5th and went through May 17th, serving 272 seniors and community members. They also celebrated Older Americans Month by spotlighting our seniors who have shown resilience and shared their stories. Slide. The library is now open at 50% capacity, and in May, there were over 20,000 circulated items, over 6,000 self-checkout items, and over a 6,000 door count. Slide. In parks and facilities, construction began on the Sam Hicks Monument Park perimeter fencing. And at Friendship Park, court resurfacing has been completed. And at Margarita Park, the LED light fixtures are on, I'm sorry, I had that, which should be installed in July 2021. And Prop 68 grant applications are in progress, with the competitive grant application already being submitted, with a site visit scheduled this Thursday, and the per capita Margarita Dog Park relocation application is in its final stages. Slide. In sports, the recognized youth league finished their spring season and is moving into all-stars. Adult softball is wrapping up and playoffs are at the end of the month. And in park rangers, they are busy as police radio training is underway. Slide. This concludes the first section of our report, and we are available to answer any questions you may have.
Fantastic report. Great job, Lacey. Thank you. I guess we'll start with Commissioner Krastevsky.
Great job, Lacey. Thank you for the report. First question I had was for Mike, I guess. That picture that was on the homeless outreach, was that here in Temecula?
It is, yeah. It's actually at the very southern portion of Old Town Front Street. There's that Jack in the Box and gas station. It's right behind there.
Now, were there actually people in the storm drains?
There was a person we were talking to down there. Yep. Yeah. Actually, a young individual that that had set up an encampment there. It's been cleaned up since then, but yes, there was.
How did he get past the grate? I'm just curious because it looks pretty secure.
So that end is locked. We actually have been making it a priority right now to identify some tunnels that people are able to access. And so actually we found two entrances to the same tunnel system. One is above ground on private property, and then the other is Caltrans area right under the freeway. So that one may be tough just because of Caltrans to get that area secured, but the one on private property, we're working to get that secured along with a few other tunnels throughout town. Quite a few actually along like Rancho California by the Target area. There's some there as well that we've identified that we'd like to hopefully get secured. So we're working with Public Works and community development to hopefully put together a plan to get those sealed or secured.
Yeah, I know it's challenging. The issue is, my concern is if someone gets into one of those storm drains and then a storm actually comes, I mean, there's no way out, right? The water's just going to push them against that grate and they're stuck.
Right.
So I guess it's a no-win situation. I know in Escondido, they leave them all open just because of that reason. And it's unfortunate because people do get in there, but I guess the flip side is they can at least get out if water starts gushing through there. I don't know. But yeah, thank you for sharing. That's
sure. And that one area that you do see us at certain times of the year, Public Works will actually open that because I think the reasons you're saying, just to make sure that if somebody is in there, they're able to get out. So that was actually about a month ago that those two gates were opened, and then they've locked them since then. So.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. Yeah. And maybe it'd be a good practice for, and maybe they do it already before storms, just to send someone to go check them out, make sure people get out of there. Thank you for that, Mike.
Thank you.
The only other thing I had to add was it's exciting to hear about the use the library is getting. I know my family uses it all the time. And the good news is starting tomorrow, there's no capacity limits, right?
Sorry, mouse issues there. Because our library is part of Riverside County Library Systems, we've been hoping to get a definitive word from them because they've been setting the rules in terms of the transition for capacities, masking, distancing, and so forth. Within the city, we just received direction today that there will be no more temperature screening or masking required for any of our facilities, including the library. And so we assume we're going to be opening the capacity back up too, but we were hoping to be able to confirm that with Riverside County before we made that sort of official.
Very cool. So it's the county health department that sets that, correct?
Well, there's two factors there. The county health can weigh in on that, but because our library is part of Riverside County Library Systems, which is RCLS for short, RCLS can also set guidelines because they staff the facility. So we like to make sure we're being consistent with whatever RCLS is directing for the library specifically.
Makes sense.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just said makes sense. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Erica. Yeah, that's good news. And I have a good feeling that it probably will open to capacity. So it's great to see. Thank you.
Thank you.
No further comments on my end.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Adi.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Lacey. Great report. Really appreciate it. Just a couple of things. Congratulations on moving closer to hearing about the grant. I know June 17th is really coming up on us, so it'll be really interesting to hear how we do on Prop 68. And also want to go to where Commissioner Krzyzewski went with HOTS. And just again, you know, kudos to Mike and the HOTS team and the homeless outreach. We're really, it's really interesting here that we actually have those connections with police and, you know, aside from the Rangers and the work that the Rangers do with the police, but to actually have police, you know, working with our staff, it's pretty special that we have that model. And I just wanted to, you know, comment on that again. And I haven't been out there to see them, and it's been a little over a year because of the pandemic. And I'm anxious to maybe get together with Mike and see if I can't go out with the team a little bit. And I'd just like to finish off by saying I did miss Law Enforcement Week last month. So I did put that up on my screen. I don't know what I'm gonna do when we're face to face, but make sure I cover law enforcement and just say one of the really, one of the things that really touches my heart is my former students that are involved in law enforcement. I have former students involved anywhere from LAPD to the FBI. And I do have one former student who I know was on the HOTS team. I haven't followed him in the last year. I think he's still doing work with the HOTS team. It's Curtis Kennedy. And I just want to, you know, just say that you guys are my heroes. The law enforcement are my heroes, and it's just really heartwarming to see my former students involved. That's it. Thanks again, Lacey.
Thanks, Gary. And last but not least, Commissioner Sizemore. Go ahead, Kathy.
Thank you, Chair Levine, and thank you, Lacey, for your report. I wanted to ask on the teen zone during the summer, are you guys continuing to do both the hybrid and the in-person option for the teens?
For now, the plan is to continue to offer both, I would say, sort of indefinitely based on demand. So if we
Okay.
continue to see a demand for online offerings and hybrid offerings, we'll continue to offer them. But if
Okay.
that demand goes away because everybody's comfortable coming back in person, then we will phase those out.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Also, you mentioned the Friend Project. Could you elaborate on that for me? I don't know what that is.
At Friendship Park.
Yes.
So that was an effort to get the community involved in the sort of the aesthetic elements that are being included in the Friendship Park renovation. So different
Okay.
groups were invited to participate in the mosaic painting. They were given ceramic tiles from like Painted Earth, and they could paint tiles, and those will become part of a mosaic. And then there were 2 days where groups were invited to help paint the murals on the side of the building along with the mural artist. So it's very
Okay.
exciting. And that'll
Yes, I
probably,
remember participating in that.
yeah, and so it's sort of like just kind of a little specialized subsection of our Adopt a Park program, basically.
Okay, all righty. Also, the library, the summer reading program for children. What happened with that this year? Is it in a virtual sense?
Unfortunately, it is strictly virtual this year, just because it had to be planned so far in advance, and there was no way of knowing what the requirements would be at the time it opened. But the library is still open, and of course, the children's section is still open, so people are more than willing to,
Okay.
or not more than willing, more than welcome to bring in their kids and pick out books and so forth. But the things like the prize wheel and the other elements we normally have in person, we will not have this year.
Okay. And my last question, you mentioned the funding a grant for Murrieta Creek Regional Sports Park. Where is that going to be located?
Lacey or Mike can speak more to that. It's going to be on Jefferson.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so there's that big empty lot. It's across from the FedEx building on Jefferson, behind Felipe's, and it's a huge lot, right? So it'd be
Yeah.
that 40 something acres right there, 48 acres, I believe, right there.
Okay. Now, is that going to be City of Temecula, or is that going to be like a joint with Murrieta? Is that like, does it span the border of both cities?
So Cherry Street's really the border right there. So it is Temecula city boundaries. However, it's actually flood control owns the property right there. So we would have a license agreement with them to use the facility for recreational purposes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Great
Time's up.
question. Thanks, Kathy. And Lacey, you know, as it turns out, all of my questions have been answered once again. So again, a great report out tonight. And thank you for representing such a great team out there. And with that, we'll move on to Miss Willa.
Thank you, Commissioner Levine, and good evening to all the commissioners and to our Madam Secretary. And you already know I'm Willa Augustine, Community Service Coordinator 2. And let's get started with our arts and culture recap. Stephanie Bushra Khan, a local artist, is our current online virtual gallery artist. You can visit the museum's virtual gallery page to view her beautiful acrylic paintings and also previous artist portraits. Slide. Bonnie Martlin, also a local artist, is currently featuring her mixed media collections entitled Bouquets at the Civic Center Gallery from May 31st until June 25th, and also Flower Power at the gallery at the Ronald H. Roberts Temecula Public Library from May 28th until June 25th. Slide. Reaching out to our community outreach recap. This is Park Adventures episode 9. It was released on May 6th, featuring Riverton Park, received almost 4,500 views. Around and About Temecula, episode 24, aired May 13th, featuring the new student art mural project, fishing etiquette at Harveston Lake, and a how-to segment on how to request to speak at a commission meeting, receiving 1,500 views. Jeff Lawrence, our favorite host with the most, attended our Bike Month open house, and he was able to personally connect with our community again. Slide. Now it's time for our favorite slide of the night, special events. And we've got a lot to cover, as you can see how big this slide is. Okay, Bike Month Challenge. We had 3 e-bikes and 8 standard bike participants. Our Bike Month open house, we had about 60 participants at the event. Our virtual Memorial Day concert, we had over 1,000 views and counting. The hybrid event, Art and Street Painting Festival, we had 15 registered chalk artists, 20 virtual art exhibitors, and we had about 100 daily spectators. And a quick thank you to our commissioners for coming out to judge that event. It was really nice to see everyone in person again. Also, last week we had our first summer concert featuring Stone Soul with 160 participants. And also we had our first movie in the park, which was Trolls World Tour at also 160 participants. Coming up tomorrow, we've got the Mike Nagar Park dedication and retirement celebration. On Thursday at our concert series, we'll have the 80s All-Stars. On June 19th, we'll have the virtual Juneteenth celebration. On June 24th, our next concert will be Canaan Road. And of course, 4th of July fireworks display will be on, you guessed it, July 4th. And then our next summer concert will be Crowd Theory on July 8th. And our final movie in the park for the summer will be Abominable on July 9th. Slide. Dancing on over to our theater recap. Our Old Town Temecula Community Theater invited patrons to join the month-long celebration of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram throughout the month of May. Slide. Temecula Presents premiered Kenny Metcalf as Elton The Early Years as a part of the Legend series with over 1,400 total views. And Country Live at the Merc and Jazz at the Merc will finally be relaunched in July. We're looking forward to that. Slide. Second Saturday at Home at the Temecula Valley Museum featured Japan in the month of May, including a live Zoom art class with Bigfoot. Also, we enjoyed recipes, crafts, tours, and cultural facts online. Slide. The 4th student art mural installed at Sam Hicks Park celebrated Japan's Children's Day in honor of our sister city, but also to celebrate Asian Pacific Heritage Month, painted by Lee Bucci and Amanda Lee. And also, family sets of koinobori were gifted to the city. Our next student mural art project will celebrate Juneteenth. Slide. Over the weekend, we had our second Saturday at home featuring Brazil, which also included a live Zoom art class with Bigfoot. Slide. And this concludes my reports, and we're all available to answer any questions you have, commissioners, and thank you.
Wonderful report out, Willa. All right, let's start it in reverse. Commissioner Sizemore.
Thank you, Chair Levine, and thank you, Willa, for your report. Let's see. Street Chalk Festival, thank you for inviting us to be judges. That was really great getting to be out in person and see everybody and to see action and life coming back to Old Town. That was great. Thank you. The summer concert series, I love that. That band last week was awesome. They were so great. I loved it. Are we opening up capacity, or are we still going to be in the pods?
So we'll no longer have the pod system, thank goodness. We will be at a capacity limit for this concert. It'll be a 300 person maximum, but it'll be first come, first serve. So once you get there, when the gates open at 6:30, anyone can sit anywhere they'd like to within the amphitheater.
Okay, because I thought you had mentioned about it was sold out.
So you
Or
still
was
have
that
to
for last week?
pre-register. So it is both. So for this week's concert, we are still in the pre-registered. That way we don't go past our 300 person capacity. So it's a
Okay.
free concert. You just have to register online. We already are at our 300 person capacity.
Darn.
But I'm certain I can find one last spot for Commissioner Sizemore and husband.
Yeah, you know what? Husband is at summer camp this week, so I didn't get tickets because I'm like, oh, I'm all by myself. Now it's like I want to celebrate that I'm all by myself. So.
Well, let me know.
All right. Thank you. I'll email you. The Kenny Metcalf show. I was talking with Bea. He was awesome. I'm convinced he's Elton John. He's really Elton John. So if we could bring him back when we're allowed to be in person, he was amazing. He was. I feel like I've been to an Elton John concert now.
Thank you. That's actually
Yes.
his second time with us. So he has been with us once in person before. He was virtual, and to see the entire show with the backup dancers and the singers in the band, will definitely bring him back for sure.
Backup dancers. Oh my gosh, the third time's the charm. He has to come back a third time. Just a silly question. The koinobori bar that was donated by our sister city. What are we doing with that now that it's not on display? Are we storing them to bring them back later, or?
Yes, they are being stored carefully at the museum, and every time we have an exhibit or an opportunity to display them, especially when our sister city groups come to visit, they will be put out at the events because they're so personal and they came with a story. We want to take good care of them. You know, when we had them outside, they were flapping around and some were even flying fish. We had to chase down the street for them. So we really want to protect them, honor them, but still share them with the public and our brothers and sisters from Dyson.
Yes, that was a fantastic story. My understanding was that families actually donated their families' koinobori to us. And so I just want to make sure we're preserving that. And are we doing anything to recognize them or thank them for that? Are we sending them anything?
We sent them the link of the photos, and Kozo and Yuko were very grateful. They were so happy to see everyone enjoying them. They were honored to be present, and each color and size of the fish of the koinobori, it represents a different family member. The large black one is the father, and then it's the mother, and the children are the smaller sizes. So it's a very interesting tradition, and whenever we have our second Saturdays and we honor Japan, we will also put them out on display. So they are ours to keep, and we will definitely be able to share them with the public when the appropriate times arise.
Thank you very much, Van. Very, very special, a very special honor that they sent that to us. Thank you. That's it.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Commissioner Adi.
Thank you, Willa. Great presentation. It's always great to have you here. Put a little energy into those presentations, just like your events. And that's kind of where I want to start. It is, as all the other commissioners have said, just so great to be out at events again. And Chalk Art was a lot of fun, just being with the other commissioners and you know, talking to the artists and talking to people from, you know, Temecula and from out of town who were enjoying it too. So, you know, super event there. I'm gonna be saving up for the July 15th concert, the Eagles Ronstadt. That's kind of my thing. So I've got to work on Debbie's social calendar to get that date free, but I think we can make it. I also want to again comment on the attention to diversity in Willa's report. You can just you know, popping out the things we're doing to celebrate and educate our community about diversity is so special, and that was kind of the theme of my backdrop today. But and I don't know if you can see down in the corner, we've got Pride Month 2 and Juneteenth coming up, and today's Flag Day, by the way. That's why we've got all the flags back there. So just again, kudos to the attention and diversity, and just, you know, wonderful things that the staff is doing, and so glad you all are going to be able to get out and really show what you can do to the community again. Thanks. Oh, I'm sorry, one quick question. I think maybe I had a question about, we mentioned Dyson, and we've had some discussion about possible recruitment for a second sister city again. And just, I don't want to, you know, I don't need to know too much if I'm not supposed to, but I just wanted to know how the process was going, if we've dropped it, if there is a process, is there a way to get involved as commissioners?
I'm going to defer to our director for that question, because we have proposed some things, but he'll have the latest information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Commissioner. There's been no action taken at this point. But there's as Bea pointed out, there have been recommendations and suggestions, but at this point, it hasn't gone any further. You know, the recommendations actually were made pre-COVID. Once COVID kind of hit, I think everyone got a little sidetracked and doing some other things too. I hope at some point that it can be revisited. We had some creative ideas without divulging too much. In short, we believe that Temecula, like all of you, is the destination place. And we also think that we're kind of the catch, if you will, in terms of being a sister city. And I think we want to, if the council decides to go in that direction, I think we would be recommending, and we did recommend that we approach it that way too, but also in a creative and fun way that I think reflects Temecula. So that's all I'll share at this point. But if it resurfaces, and we hope it does, this commission will definitely be made aware of, and we'll just take it from there.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that answer.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate the question. I've often wondered about that myself, and I appreciate the background, Director Hawkins. All right, we'll wrap it up with Commissioner Krastevsky.
Well, thank you again, Willa, for your report. I'm just going to echo what Commissioner Sizemore and Commissioner Adi said about how great it is just to be able to get out in the community and mingle and see all the amazing things the city has to offer. I was able to participate in the Bike Month, and then also with the Art and Street Painting Festival as a judge, and that was just a great opportunity. It was nice to be with everybody, and yeah, it's really nice. Looking forward to checking out Abominable on July 9th with the kids. We didn't make it out to Trolls World Tour, just didn't work out, but we're going to try to make it to one at least this summer. So awesome stuff. Thank you again.
Thanks, Chris. And Will, a terrific report again, as always. Really no questions. You know, I echo Commissioner Sizemore and the others. You know, it was so great to be out at the Art and Street Painting Festival a couple weeks ago. I missed the Juneteenth presentation, the art there, because I was traveling, but fantastic that we're doing that. Gary, you know, talked about, you know, the celebration of diversity. You know, this appears to be a great month, you know, for that, and applaud the city's efforts there, and really super excited about, you know, and I could tell your energy was just beaming through here, you know, talking about, you know, the slate of events coming up. And I know we're all sort of waiting with, you know, high anticipation for, you know, the 15th and what's going to come next. And fingers crossed, you know, we're returning a bit to normal, and we can experience all those things that Temecula is well known for. So, and with that, I appreciate you, Willa. Appreciate the team. Say hello to everybody and thank them for us. And I suppose we can move on to Director Hawkins' report. How are you, Director Hawkins?
I'm fine. I hope everyone is okay. My apologies for joining a little late, but I think it's been pretty well established that community services is in good hands. You know, the questions that were posed and the answers that were provided by everyone in the reports, Willa with her energy always, and Lacey, and to be quite honest, Lacey is selling herself short, Commissioner Sizemore, as relates to the Prop 68 process and that particular project, which admittedly is a long shot. It's a Hail Mary, right? When you're kind of participating and pursuing these grant opportunities, a lot of times it's kind of, you're dropping a pin just to see if it's, you know, Chris, yeah, Commissioner Chris says, you know exactly right. If it's an area that's in need, at risk, or meets the criteria. And it's a stretch, but because of Lacey's creative grant writing and her handling of the process, we're competitive. And so that project would fit nicely into the Uptown Jefferson project, right? That actually has a recreation sports component. And if we're able to check that box using a different color of money, that would be tremendous. So I didn't want Lacey to just kind of provide a report and gloss over that. The reason that we're even competitive and being considered, and we're going to have some folks come out and really take a hard look at it, is through her expertise. And so I wanted to acknowledge that as well. So just in terms of a report, I typically, you know, just talk about upcoming things that may be of interest, and they'll be in the recap. We have our next council meeting on Tuesday, which, by the way, you know, if you tuned into the previous council meeting, it will be in chambers. So we've talked about that commissions, boards and commissions will follow the lead of the city council. So Tuesday's council meeting will be in chambers. And that means, barring anything else, that our commission meetings moving forward will be back in chambers. And I know that should make a lot of folks happy. And so we're looking forward to that too. Just items, everything pretty much is on consent of interest to this commission. I think we have 5 items. I think the folks who are on this call kind of either wrote the items or are aware of it. One is just a request to approve a 5-year agreement with for BAS Security. It's our security company that provides security at our facilities, and that's just a typical re-upping of the agreement. A few years, well, more than a few years ago, we checked with our police chief at the time just to see if an additional security presence would be beneficial. And at the time, the police, and that's been renewed, said, yes, absolutely. A better use of their resources and talents could be out there actually fighting crime, where you're actually having a security presence, to address some of the needs that are typically associated with facilities and facilities management. And I think it's been a very good investment. The other item is to really further demonstrate that we're reopening is a request to approve the agreement, another 5-year term with our Ice America for the skating rink, the ice rink. We kind of went through that entire process, and you look up and it's like, oh, it's time to renew the agreement, but we're happy to report that the same group will be with us, and we're looking forward to having a rink and creating that atmosphere out there that Willa and Tracy and Don and so many are responsible for. So getting excited about that. The other item is, and I think this is something that we really appreciate as well as everyone citywide, is an agreement to re-upping the agreement and actually extending it with Shauna for photography services. As you know, she captures that citywide, right? And she's at every event. And that's a 5-year agreement. She's a known commodity. She's done tremendous work that's been utilized, obviously in updates, but in galleries, as well as social media, as well as part of our package when we were making a case to with the county to during the height of COVID to reopen in certain cases and to provide certain things and to show the impact associated with COVID. And Shauna went out and kind of did the before and after photos, which were also, I believe, included with some of our reimbursement packages too. So tremendous talent, and everyone signing off on that as well. And then our final one is just a basic agreement with Vision One. That's for theater ticketing software services. Yay, Bea. And so that's also going to be a 3-year term in agreement. So again, on consent, but I just kind of wanted to share with you guys, what's going on there. Another thing, and I don't think it's been provided to the commission, but I shared it. I know definitely with Mike. You might have seen, I think over the weekend, that USA Today did like this expose, if you will, on homelessness, right? And it was interesting because it really focused on California, citing, that California's homeless population, contributes to over half of the nation's homeless population, if you will, right? And I believe just in terms of our unsheltered count in California, it's about 160,000. And so, I mean, and that's Commissioner Sizemore, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I thought you were asking a question. But it was interesting that the article and the steady focus on that. It also just talked a little bit about, the money spent, and can't necessarily say that it's been very successful exercise, that over 3 years, about 13 billion has been spent, out of our state on the homeless issue. And I bring that up. You can almost contrast or juxtapose that to when you receive these updates from our hot team that you just saw, and Mike's team, which and I think all of us are extremely proud. We had a recent street exit, which I think was very important to a lot of folks, and I know Mike, to you personally. But the article started off talking about the conditions of like these encampments, and it talked about how there are folks who had been in encampments and who were deceased, and it wasn't until like COVID where bodies were discovered, or that there were individuals who were living with open wounds, and that not to gross folks out, but they were bug infested in some of these wounds. That's not care and compassion. And so there's a lot of lip service, but that's not care and compassion. again, we're trying to address the issues of homelessness and the impact as it relates to our quality of life. And we have that when folks who are breaking the law and our criminal element, our RSO and HOB team are on it, and the best, obviously, in the county. But when there are folks who want help and want to seek help and are ready for it, we meet them where they're currently at. And I think we've done an excellent job doing that. I know sometimes you're driving, you'll see shopping carts, or you'll see this, or you'll see that. But given what's out there in larger cities that spend a lot more money. I think LA is setting aside an emergency $1 billion to deal with their homeless problem. There is such a return on the investment, but more importantly, it's the people that make the difference. And I just wanted to spend a little time to acknowledge that, because you do see the difference, and it is there, and it goes towards really demonstrating that Temecula truly cares. So with that, thank you for all the kind wishes, and I don't know what's happening exactly next as it relates to plans, but rest assured, whatever happens, that community services is in great hands. And so that concludes my report.
Thanks, Director Hawkins. And once again, congratulations to you. Question for you. So next week, the City Council will be meeting in chambers, and they've rescheduled our report to next week, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So just in terms of logistics, I believe that, again, the public will actually have access. There will be certain areas for those in the public who feel like they want to remain masked, and for those who obviously do not want to wear masks. And then as it stands now, just as it relates to OSHA standards, OSHA has not changed any of the standards, and I think we're all trying to figure out, what are you doing, right? So at this point, and there was an emergency meeting on, I don't know, Thursday, Tuesday, or something like that. There will be another meeting, I think on the 17th, I can't remember, but city staff and employees within City Hall in group settings are still required to wear masks. We will figure it out. And so you'll see a combination, but there will also be air purifiers that are being installed for the chambers, as well as for other facilities, to prepare us all for a reopening. And so a lot of precautions have been taken. Our maintenance schedules are top notch. And then it's common sense. And we just ask folks, regardless of if you feel comfortable with or without masks, to respect each other's right to either wear masks or not, once we go back to, an open reopening scenario, and then we'll figure it out from there. But it's really based upon your comfort level. So
Thanks again. Really appreciate the additional detail there.
Got it.
All right. We're nearing the end. So with that, Commissioner reports, let's start with Commissioner Adi.
Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna make it. So thank you for making those adjustments. It looks like we're gonna be good. Yeah, I'm gonna start again by congratulating Kevin. So great to see him, even have a greater part in our city. We're so blessed and fortunate to have him in that leadership role. Really excited about it. So congrats again, Kevin, very well deserved. And that said, congratulations to the entire community service family under Kevin's leadership. You know, you guys are just very, very special, and big thanks to all you do again as we open up. I have, well, so there was some good news on a rescheduling of Friendship Park. I was gonna miss that, and now I get to be there. Thanks for doing that for me, by the way. Appreciate that. Really wanted to be there for that one.
It was done especially for you.
Yes, yeah, I knew. Thanks. Such good friends. So tomorrow we're at Mike Nagar's celebration, and I saw they said 106 degrees, so dress appropriately, and then it said business casual. So business casual to me isn't going to work for 106 degrees. So how far can we go? Is it shorts and flip-flops, or just shorts with closed-toed shoes?
I'm not
you know.
weighing in on that. It's been a while since I've attended, you know, a meeting like on the sun. So I just hope we get through there without disintegrating. So the guest of honor has suggested a couple of different fashion choices. So I will just leave it up to comfort. And hey, if you have something that has Temecula on it, I think that gets you a long way, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, perfect. I think we should hold it in the splash pad. And I didn't get any swag swim trunks, but I mean, I would be fine with going splash pad tomorrow. So that's all I had. Thanks again, and thanks, Chair, for making those adjustments for me. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Gary. Thank you. All right, Commissioner Krastevsky.
Nothing to report per se, but I second what Commissioner Audi says. Congratulations, Kevin. Again, well deserved. Very excited for you. Very excited that the city gets to retain you and all that you bring to the table. I mean, with your background and everything else, it's a slam dunk. They made the right call, and I'm very excited to see what's in store for you down the road. So congrats again.
Great, thanks, Chris. And last but not least, Commissioner Sizemore.
Thank you, Chair Levine. I have to admit, I'm with Gary. I'm a little concerned about the heat, and I've been watching my email all day for a rescheduling notice from the city. So I didn't see it come in. So looking forward to it. Kevin, congratulations. I'm kind of sad because I just started to work with you, but I'll still get to work with you. So that'll be great. I do want to thank Erica. Erica looked into a concern that I brought to her. I had an older couple in Paseo del Sol mentioned to me that they are dog walkers at Ronald Reagan Sports Park. They've been going there at least once a day with their dogs for the past 7 years. And since the pump tracks have come in, they've started to feel like they're not welcome there anymore, that they've had some, they said pretty much once a day, they have people on wheels almost collide with them. And so they're feeling like it's not safe to be there. And I did go out on a Saturday at, was it 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. and just observe and walk the area. And I had a couple of near misses. So I asked Erica to look into potentially some new signage to help make people aware that pedestrians are there and they're supposed to be there, and potentially some striping and dividing the pathway, which it looks like it's too narrow to do. But thank you for looking into that, Erica. And that is it.
The pressure is on to make this come in for landing in less than an hour. But, you know, again, Kevin, it's been a fantastic ride. So proud of you. And, you know, I got the note from you, you know, letting me know, and it was just for a brief second, like bitter, right? But but very, very sweet, right? Because if anybody deserves, you know, something like this, it's you, 100%. You have continued to show leadership to this team. I've, you know, in the 5.5 years that I've been on the commission, you know, I've seen everybody grow. You put people in positions of you know, you've been mentoring them, you know, allowing them to present. And it's just the mentorship that you guys are all getting from Kevin is just priceless. So, and again, all of that leaves TCSD in very, very good hands. And so kudos to you for the opportunity, and extreme kudos to you for showing extreme care in helping this department. They will weather, there won't even be a storm, right? They will weather this change.
They may even welcome it. They're nodding their heads like, yep.
Yeah, get them out. No, it's just awesome. I couldn't be happier for you.
Very kind.
All right. And Tracy, great job. I know you've taken over as commission secretary, just doing a fantastic job. Appreciate seeing your smiling face. You know, I understood that you were going to be moving over to this role. Hopefully we can still see you out and about at these events. And because I know you guys, we leverage our folks, you know, where we can, and that's awesome. But thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
I guess with that, let's not belabor this. Can we have a motion to adjourn to the next regular meeting of the Community Services Commission for Monday, July 12th in chambers?
Motion.
Second.
All right.
So there is a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Krzyzewski with a second by Commissioner Audi. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so the motion is passed unanimously with 4 ayes and 1 absent.
I got 6:57. We are adjourned.
All right.
Have a great night, guys.
Good night.